this is the day that the Lord has made. We are going to rejoice and we're going to be glad in it. That is a choice that we must make each and every day. Okay, so I'm a member of an organization called WOVI, which stands for Women of Visionary Influence. And every month we have women speakers who come in and encourage us on things that are relevant to women's success. One particular month we had a woman come in and she talked to us about boundaries. Because as women generally, we have a difficult time setting boundaries for ourselves because let's face it, a lot of us think we have to be superwoman. We have to be everything we need to the man, to the kids, to the job, leaving nothing for ourselves. And that can affect our mental health because when we lose ourselves, sometimes we can lose our mind. Not feeling happy, feeling depressed, feeling like we don't have a whole lot of purpose in our lives. And that's why setting boundaries take courage. That was one of the statements this woman shared with us. She used in an illustration, she had these hula hoops and she had them all separate that represented different people's lives and what they were doing. And then she had a hula hoop that represented, say, your own personal. And then what happens is people have their situations and they move, their hula hoop moves into your circle, and next thing you know, all of their stuff is overlapping into your life. That boundaries take courage. Why does boundaries take courage? I'm glad you asked. Boundaries take courage because when you set boundaries, there are people who are going to be excluded who believe they should be always included. A lot of times that is our people closest to us, actually, our children. Excuse the interruption, but I had to stop the video because I needed to make this point. Yes, our children are probably the biggest culprits of those that believe that when we set boundaries, we're not referring to them. We're referring to everybody else but them. But we must learn to even set boundaries with children, because if not, then we'll always have them infringing. We'll lose our peace of mind because we'll always feel like we have to do and be available whenever they're ready. But it's not the case, because they will learn to survive without us. Eventually, they have to survive without us. My daughter was starting to develop, not an entitlement, maybe an entitlement, but things needed to happen at her convenience. That's what it is. She just felt like things happened at her convenience. When she was ready, okay, I'm ready now, and we're supposed to be ready when she's ready. And I had to recognize that, you know what? This is something that needs to stop like right now. We need to set some new boundaries. You can't just have what you want when you want it. And last week, she had gotten a gift card to Whataburger, and she wanted to use it. So I took her after school so that she can use her Whataburger gift card. Well, when we got home, I had to leave out later to run some errands. And while I was out, I was hungry, so I picked up a Chipotle chicken bowl. I didn't finish it all, so I brought it back home. And then later on, she was starving, my daughter, and she wanted my chicken bowl. And I told her, no, you can't have it. And she was like surprised that I said no, because normally as a mom, hey, yes, you can have it. Your child is hungry, you have food, you give it to your child, you give your child your last. But I knew that wasn't our last. I knew that we had food in the refrigerator. If she was hungry, she would have eaten it. But she didn't want to fix the food, therefore she went without my food. Eventually, she did fix something else that was in the refrigerator that I told her, hey, fix yourself a chicken sandwich. She didn't want that at the time, but once she realized that I was saying no, then she went ahead with the chicken sandwich. And that's what happens a lot of times. Eventually, they'll figure it out. They will figure it out. And I've had some other instances where my daughter just thought I was going to be available at her convenience. And she would come and ask me, and I told her no, where normally I would say, okay, yes, we can do that. So she was starting to get used to the fact that, okay, there's no boundaries for me when it comes to mom. But I am changing that, and she's noticing that, because now, just in the last week, actually not even the last week, the last day, she is starting to see that, okay, it's not like it used to be. I see that there's some boundaries being established. Okay, so that's all. I just wanted to stop and interject that. Finish watching the video. I'm sure you'll get something out of it. And don't forget, we matter. We need to set boundaries, because you know how the saying goes, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So let's keep ourselves happy so the world around us, our families, can be happy too. All right. So people on our job, even our best friends, there are people who always believe that when you set boundaries, you're not talking about them. They have an access pass into your life anytime they want to. And that's why it takes courage to say, no, I can't accommodate you this time. Because I think sometimes as women, we forget that our sisters could be setting boundaries, and we're trying to infringe upon the boundaries they set. Because sometimes there could be a financial boundary. So she may not be able to go out, eat dinner like she used to. She may not be able to support every event. You know, she may have set some social boundaries in her life, some emotional boundaries in her life, and not everybody is welcome to that space. So therefore, I think for each other, we can at least start helping in that area. That is, if someone tells us no, you know, people, I get told no, you know, there's plenty of people that's not always going to be able to help what I'm doing. And I really not to get offended, you know, because there's people, granted, you think, oh, that's my family. I know I can count on their support. But if you've been doing anything, you're going to learn that sometimes family's the last place you're going to find a lot of support. It seems like it tends to come from strangers and people who hardly know you. However, even if you are expecting it from your family or people close to you, let's learn to respect boundaries. We have to assess what's important to set boundaries. All right, so hopefully that helps, ladies, because we really need to get our mental minds together, and that can play on our mental ability, because we're constantly thinking and feeling bad that we can't please everyone in our lives. But you know what? When we're happy, everyone else is happy. And then just let them know, I'm set a new boundary. I love you, but right now it's a very limited space, and it includes me, because, hey, we have to stay happy. Until next time, I'll be praying yours, and I hope you are praying mine. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, spread the word.